There are a few things that the Apollo does that no other solar generator does, and I mean none. Hysolis is unlike any other solar generator brand on the market. What is good about Hysolis and what is bad about Hysolis? My name's Ben, this is the Minuteman Prep YouTube channel. I truly believe that our grid is one of our greatest weaknesses as a nation and that everybody needs to have backup power. The easy option is a gas generator, but the long-term option, which is what I'm preparing for, is a solar generator with a gas generator as a backup. And that's gonna be a key factor here. So here's the thing, you probably know about Bluetti, EcoFlow, Pecron, Goal Zero, Jackery, all these big names because they do crazy amounts of advertising. Hysolis doesn't really do a lot of paid advertising. Kind of like how you never see a Lamborghini commercial, right? You never see the best of the best having to advertise. At least that's how it is in the car world. And it may also apply here with solar generators and Hysolis. So one of the major things that sets Hysolis apart is the fact that they have one unit. They really have been focusing on being the best at the one unit, but it's a very versatile unit because each unit has a 3 kilowatt inverter, which is like pretty good for a standalone unit, definitely powerful, but it's only single phase, so it's not gonna run your whole house. But they have the ability to put 2 of them together in parallel, which just means that you can now get split phase power, which means you can get power to your whole house. That's all it means. But then they take it a step further, where you could actually connect 4 of them together and quadruple your output, which also means you can quadruple your solar input. And of all solar generators, no matter what people talk about with life cycles and capacity and so on, the lifeblood, I've been saying this for years, the lifeblood of a solar generator, big surprise, solar input. Who would have guessed? So their solar generators will let in 4.4 kilowatts of solar input, but if you're running extra loads on it, it'll give it a boost to where you can have solar directly running your loads and then still have 4.4 kilowatts running to your batteries. So it has 4.4 kilowatts of solar input, but it kind of technically has 5 kilowatts of solar input. So for easy math, we'll say 5, but keep that in mind. There are a few things that the Apollo does that no other solar generator does, and I mean none. I've tested the Anchors, I've tested the EcoFlows, the Bluettis, the Jackeries, you name it, I've pretty much tested it, and there are great units out there. But the Apollo has the distinct ability for transferring energy from one unit to another unit. When you're running split phase power, that means that unit 1 is running energy to leg 1 in your electrical panel, and there's 2 legs. And then unit 2 is running energy to leg 2. And in your electrical panel, there's little fingers that interlock like this, and your breakers touch the middle connection there. And when you have a double pole breaker, that means it's touching both legs, and that's how it gets 240 volt power. So here's the issue with EcoFlow, Bluetti, the other brands. When you're running split phase, if one phase or one leg in your house will always have more energy used than the other. It's never possible to have a perfectly balanced electrical panel. So because of that, you'll have one unit drain faster than the other because they're not transferring energy between each other. And that's what the Apollo does. One of the few headaches of the Apollo is that there's a bit of cabling going on to connect it all together. That's also what allows it to have this energy sharing. So if leg 1 is using 500 watts and leg 2 is using 100 watts, leg 2 or unit 2 is going to send excess energy over to unit 1 and keep the batteries balanced all the way down to 0. See, with the other units, once unit 1 drains to 0, you lose split phase power. So you could still have 50% of your battery in unit 2, unit 1 is going to be at 0, all the power is gone. So the Apollo is the only one that has power sharing between the units. And that doesn't matter if you only have 2 units or 4 units or 8 units. As they're all connected together, they will share the energy between each other. So one of the second things that is extremely impressive about the Apollo that you really don't find hardly on anything else out there is the dark start, or what they call unattended mode. Dark start is just kind of the easy term, but what that means is, let's say at 3 a.m. you've used up all your energy, your batteries are dead, right? You're asleep, you don't know that the power's gone out. So you wake up and your energy is run out, but the sun's coming up and you can set on the screen at what percentage you want the batteries to turn back on and continue running everything. So I usually keep mine at about 20 or 30%. So once the solar panels have recharged the batteries to 30%, it automatically kicks the system back on. Now, one of the third things is kind of a thing that's coming in the future here, so I'll be kind of announcing it here. So if you've watched this far, you'll get this little tidbit. Make sure you watch to the very end for the extra bonuses. When you recharge off a gas generator, there will eventually come a time where your batteries run low, there's no sun, like we got like 4 inches of snow today, so I'm not getting any solar input. So if we need to recharge off of a gas generator, you have to have a specific gas generator. And that's gonna be an inverter generator with a THD, or a total harmonic distortion, of less than 3%. These are hard to find because not even all inverter generators are guaranteed to have a THD of less than 3%. And it can fluctuate depending on the load. So if you have a 25% load, could be good, but if you put it up to a 75% load, it might not be good. So gas generators can be really finicky, and that's one of the other issues of a gas generator running your house. It can harm fragile electronics. That could be things like TVs, Wi-Fi, laptops, refrigerators. The vital things that we want to keep running can potentially be damaged by gas generators. All solar generators, they will not charge from what's called dirty power, or power that's not a THD of less than 3%. Hysolis is coming out with a special charger that you can plug into a 120 or 240 gas generator, and it's going to take that energy and convert it to DC energy that you can then plug directly into a battery port and put up to 5,000 watts of charge. But not only that, you can get 2 of them, because if you have at least 1 power station and 1 battery, you'll always have at least 2 ports open. So that's gonna be released very soon by Hysolis. Hysolis, if I wasn't supposed to tell anybody, I apologize, but that's one of the really cool features is you can have super fast DC charging, and it works with any gas generator. You don't have to go buy a $3,000 inverter generator. You can buy a $1,000 open air generator, and it's gonna work just fine. Now there's another thing that Hysolis does better than anybody. If you watch my EcoFlow, my Bluetti videos that I've already posted, I'm doing videos on every brand, so just keep watching. I hope you subscribe. You'll get my opinion on every brand. None of this is sponsored. I'm not being paid by anyone for anything. This is just my opinion on everybody. I have not found better customer service than Hysolis, bar none, period. Other brands have good customer service. It's absolutely good. But Hysolis takes it a step farther, because when it comes to reliability, not only is the Hysolis has like less than a 0.1% return rate for warranty claims, it's ridiculously low, but when people have had issues, and I've been one of those people that have had issues, it is as simple as like, hey, I'm having this issue. They check to see if the settings are right or if you can do any testing to make it work. And if it doesn't work, they literally just send out new units. And they've done that for me. Even Will Prowse, when he and I were first testing the Apollo years ago, he actually discovered that there was a shock hazard in the Apollos. And he got shocked, and I had actually been shocked and not realized that I was getting shocked. I wasn't paying attention. It was shocking me right here on my hand, and I was like, oh, that's odd. Didn't think anything of it. And he called me and was like, dude, don't freaking touch them. And he was getting a lot of voltage off of the casing. Instead of Hysolis just saying sorry and replacing the units, hoping they're gonna be okay, they brought everything back. They didn't sell anything for a year. They re-engineered the issue to make sure it could never happen again. And then they sent it on their own dime to a TUV certifying test facility, where it literally went through tests for months of non-stop use, getting used as hard as possible before they then put it back into production and then offered to sell it again. So all on their own dime, not making any money, they did that. And I've never seen a company do that. In my other experiences with other companies, they usually just swap them out. As an example, and I'll have a review about Mango, I had seven units die. And instead of them telling me that yes, there was a problem, they're gonna fix it, they kept telling me that my refrigerator was killing it. When people email me at info@poweredportablesolar.com, or they call our 800 number, and when we talk and they press me on which one I wanna use, in the end, it's the Apollo. One of the major benefits of the Apollo is no firmware updates. That's been one of the issues that's even killed some of my units from EcoFlow. So here in my garage, I have lots of different units, definitely other brands, but look at my Apollo setup. Out of all of the systems I have, there's been one that I've chosen to expand, the Apollo. It's the one that I choose to personally be the most reliable. A review on Hysolis is pretty much a review on the Apollo, and that's because they're good at one thing. Now, if you want to see how it compares to all the other systems that I've mentioned and other ones, visit the link down below. That is my free solar generator comparison chart, and you'll be able to see apples to apples, inverters against inverters, batteries, solar, and even price versus price. The last little thing that if you stay to the end, the little treat that I'm gonna give you is working with EMP Shield, the company. We have designed exactly how you can take an EMP shield and connect it to an Apollo and make it EMP proof. And there's nothing you have to do internally to the Apollo itself. So I'm gonna have a video about that. If you wanna see how you can make an EMP proof solar generator that's powerful enough to run your house. Of all the things that I mentioned, please help the algorithm and help me getting some feedback by commenting down on the thing you liked or disliked most about the Apollo that I mentioned, or anything from your own experience. Thanks guys, be prepared. See you on the next video.